Across a silent plain, a forest of broken columns cuts the sky. Today we call it ruins. Once it was a heartbeat. This was Persepolis. Not a city to live in, but a city to believe in. A throne in stone. A promise of order. A warning to enemies. And then, one night, it burned like a second sunrise. Stay with me. Before the flames, it taught the world how an empire speaks without words. And after the flames, it kept speaking. 1. A dream in the dust. Darius and the birth of a symbol. 518 BCE. At the foot of the Zagros Mountains, a king surveys a barren terrace. Darius the First? Not the obvious heir, but the man who turned uncertainty into system. Darius the organizer? Darius the auditor? Darius the architect of a network so vast it needed a symbol that could hold it together. He does not choose a river to flatter him or a harbor to feed him. He chooses height and stone. He chooses a place with no memory, so he can write one from scratch. He points and says, "Build here." Work gangs arrive from every corner of the Achaemenid map. Elamite scribes, Ionian carpenters, Babylonian brickmasters, Egyptian goldsmiths, Lydian metallurgists, stonemasons from Arachosia, draymen from Bactria. The empire is not a map here. It is a workforce. They bite into the mountain. They level a terrace the size of a town. They set sockets for columns like constellations on Earth. And every line implies a future ceremony. Persepolis will not cook bread or crowd with markets. It will do one thing only: convince. 2. Engineering a message. The Apadana and the grammar of power. Persian genius is practical: roads, weights, measures, treaties, taxes, and then architecture that explains it all without a single spoken word. They raise the Apadana, the great audience hall, 72 columns as tall as 7-story trees crowned with double-headed bulls and lions, guardians that watch, warn, and lift the roof like Atlas. Torchlight ripples over polished floors like water. Approach is theater. Staircases climb gently, not to exhaust ambassadors but to pace them, to choreograph tribute. On the walls, reliefs bloom, more than 20 delegations carved with obsessive care. Medes in pleated wool, Elamites bearing lion cubs, Indians with a humpbacked bull and baskets of gold dust, Assyrians with metal bowls, Lydians with fine cloth, Ethiopians with ivory and ebony. Faces different, gifts different. And yet every figure looks forward, not sideways. No quarrel here, only order. This is not a portrait of slavery. It's a portrait of priority. Keep your gods, speak your tongue, pay your tax, bow to the center. 3. King of Kings. Nowruz and the heartbeat of empire. Shahanshah, King of Kings. The title matters. Persia imagines not one king swallowing all others, but a king above kings, guaranteeing a cosmic balance called Asha. Truth, order, rightness. Persepolis sits inside a network. Susa to the west, Ecbatana to the north, Sardis by the Aegean, Babylon on the Euphrates. Across it runs the Royal Road, a spine of relay stations where riders change horses and carry sealed orders. Herodotus marvels. Neither snow, nor rain, nor heat, nor gloom of night slows these messengers. Here, that bureaucracy becomes ceremony. At the spring equinox, Nowruz, the world resets. Long lines of envoys rise the stair, textiles breathing, metal shining, animals snorting. Under shade and gold sits the king. Behind him, not whim, law. A conqueror can frighten you once. A system can persuade you forever. 4. Gates, halls, and names. Walking the plan of a statement. Enter through the gate of all nations, guarded by winged bulls with human heads, Assyrian ancestry, Persian accent. Inscriptions in Old Persian, Elamite, and Babylonian declare, "By the favor of Ahura Mazda, I built this." To the east, the Apadana, south, the Takara, Darius's polished palace, north, the treasury, once heavy with silver ingots, gold vessels, and weapons with handles of ivory and lapis. The Tripolion, the 3-door hall, knots corridors where courtiers and guards intersect like threads in a loom. Every threshold is a sentence. Every capital a punctuation mark. Persepolis writes you as you walk it. Here, architecture isn't shelter, it's grammar. 5. Written in clay, guarded by lions. The tablets beneath the glory. Beneath splendor hums a bureaucracy. In storerooms, clerks press symbols into wet clay. Tens of thousands of tablets survive. Not paeans to glory, but the daily algebra of empire. Rations for workers, allotments for artisans, travel authorizations, payments in wine, grain, and beer. From these we learn women head work teams, pregnant workers receive extra rations, families travel with official support. Not utopia, administration. Precise enough that we can trace a mason's diet or a courier's route after 2,500 years. Engineering hides more genius. Rainwater swallowed by carved gutters, stone channels cooling halls, joints cut to lock wood into stone so roofs breathe but do not break. Where others boast with statues, Persepolis boasts with solutions. Empires fail when their miracles are only skin deep. Here, the miracles run underfoot. 6. Art that argues. Lions, bulls, and immortal guards. Stand before the lion biting the bull. Violent? Yes, but it's also a calendar. The lion of summer entering the bull of spring, a cosmic handoff. The message is seasonal faith. Time moves, order remains. Elsewhere, the immortal guards hold spears, bearded, calm. They do not charge, they stand. The art says how the empire wants to be seen, balanced, inevitable. Then the tenderness, curls carved one by one, sandal laces, a lion cub carried as tribute. A hand that can carve a curl can also weigh a tax. Detail is policy. When an empire carves like this, it's telling you a secret. It expects to last. 7. A city that slept between ceremonies. Paradox. The greatest capital of Persia is not a typical city. No dense bazaars, few permanent houses. It swells for ceremony and then exhales into quiet. That's the point. Susa can govern, Babylon can count, Ecbatana can store, Persepolis can mean. Symbols inspire loyalty and magnetize revenge. 8. Xerxes, continuity, and a storm on the horizon. Darius dies. Xerxes inherits a throne and a choreography. He completes the Apadana, raises his own palace, repeats power in trilingual inscriptions. Xerxes the king says. He also becomes the face of Persian ambition turned outward. Bridges of boats at the Hellespont, the glare of Salamis, the weight of Plataea. In Greek memory, Xerxes is excess. In Persian memory, he is continuation. At Persepolis, continuity looks like symmetry. New halls align with old, courts mirror courts, staircases echo staircases. Even when kings change, the sentence remains the same. Grammar is power. A sentence an empire speaks across generations. Chapter 9, Alexander, the hurricane that loved dry timber. Northwest, a prince becomes a general, and a general becomes a hurricane. Alexander of Macedon, Granicus, Issus, Gaugamela. He crosses rivers that thought they were borders. He pulls the spine from Persia's armies and walks it like a road. He enters Persepolis in 330 BCE. Accounts disagree. Some say he marveled, some say he sneered. All agree he took. Caravans of treasure stream from the treasury. Gold vessels, silver ingots, weapons with jewel handles. So much that it takes thousands of animals to carry. Then comes the night of fire. Was it revenge for Xerxes' sack of Athens, incited by the courtesan Thais? Was it calculated terror? A signal that the old world is over? Or was it a drunken accident? Sources argue. The flames do not. Cedar beams cough sparks. Roofs collapse. Palaces become furnaces. Columns glow, then blacken. Reliefs drink smoke. The Apadana's forest loses its leaves. Alexander, legend says, weeps at what he has done. A conqueror weeping over a broken mirror. For Persians, the wound never closes. Symbols attract tribute. They also attract torches. 10. After the flames. What was lost, what was kept. Persepolis does not vanish. Its terrace still breathes. The broken columns still point. Beneath collapsed roofs, clay tablets survive, fired by the very heat that destroyed the halls. Irony hardens the evidence. Empires die two deaths. The day the fire comes, and the day the story ends. Persepolis refuses the second. Farmers pick at the stone for centuries. Travelers tell tales of Takht-e-Jamshid, the throne of Jamshid, mythical king. The site sleeps, but it does not forget. Sometimes ruins are archives that only fire could finish. 11. Rediscovery. Scholars, spades, and the whispers of stone. Modern eyes return in the 17th, 20th centuries. Travelers copy inscriptions. Scholars crack cuneiform. Archaeologists map halls, gates, and the rhythm of processions. Out of dust, an argument appears. Reliefs that some once read as humiliation now read as integration. Nations stand distinct, unchained, forward-looking. Bureaucratic tablets reveal wages, rations, maternity support. Messy, human, administrative. The city that looked like pure propaganda turns out to be practical as well. Engineers admire drainage and joinery. Historians track how a courier network outran distance. Artists sketch how power can be carved as calm instead of chaos. Persepolis was never one thing. It was a stage, a system, a message, and a mirror. 12. Lessons of a burned capital. Order, beauty, and the cost of certainty. What does Persepolis still teach? That order can be beautiful, and beauty can be political. That a system can welcome many gods and languages, and still insist on one staircase. That ceremony is not fluff, it is glue. But also, that symbols create enemies, that triumph can tempt arrogance, that a single night can melt centuries of planning. Empires build in stone because stone feels permanent. Fire disagrees. Great systems die slowly, then all at once, usually when belief drains faster than treasure. 13. What the ruins still say. Walk the terrace today. Put your hand on the cool, pitted stone. Noon light settles into carved lines that still hold shadow. The staircase reliefs still pull you upward toward a throne gone but stubbornly present. Read the kings with your finger and a guide. Darius the king says. Xerxes the king says. Their grammar is boastful and ordinary, divine and administrative. Exactly how a world power sounds. The most eloquent inscription is a shattered column. It says, I was meant to last, I did not. And somehow, I still do. History is a voice carved into stone, arguing with time. Persepolis rose because an empire needed to see itself. It organized stone the way it organized people. Balanced, measured, staged. It promised that order could be beautiful, and beauty could be law. Then it burned, and the world learned how fast certainty can turn to ash. And yet, the idea survived. Administration, religious tolerance, networks that connect distant lives, art that argues for calm power. Ruins do not only mourn the past, they interrogate the present. If this journey changed how you see the ancient world, tell us what scene hit you hardest. The lion and the bull, the thunder of Nowruz, or the night the palaces glowed like a second sunrise. Drop your thoughts below. Like the video, share it, and subscribe to HistoryMind for more untold stories carved in stone and scarred by fire.